Archer, and I am wide awake and ready to fight for the future of this republic.
And I'm Mary Kane, back in the ring after a weekend of watching the world try to shake itself apart.
You're listening to John Steele. I've been staring at a goat all morning, and honestly, the goat has better ideas than the State Department.
Maya Thorne here, reporting live from the absolute front lines of the vibe shift.
We have a crucial show for you today, folks. It's Monday, May 11th, 2026, and the world is moving faster than a White House fixer with a shredder.
No kidding. We're still reeling from yesterday's news about those 3 million disenfranchised voters in Virginia. Just a total hack job by the courts.
High-key embarrassing. And don't forget the AI data centers in Pennsylvania basically turning electricity into a luxury item. It's a lot.
But today, look, we're diving into the absolute brinkmanship in the Middle East, the corporate greed driving your grocery bill into the stratosphere, and why the non-profit hospital down the street might be acting more like a debt collector than a healer. But first, the happy warrior of the GOP is at it again. And by happy warrior, I mean he's treating foreign policy like a game of high-stakes poker where he's betting with our chips.
More like he's playing Go Fish with a deck of Uno cards, Julian.
It is absurd. We're talking about the Brinkmanship Doctrine. According to reports from the Business Times and CTV, Trump just blew up a ceasefire proposal with Iran. He called Tehran's response totally unacceptable, in all caps, of course, because that's how we do diplomacy in 2026.
It's giving main character syndrome. He sent them a one-page deal, a 14-point memo. Like he's trying to end a decade-long geopolitical crisis with the equivalent of a Starbucks order.
Wait, a one-page memo? We are talking about uranium enrichment, regional sovereignty, and the Strait of Hormuz. And he's using a document shorter than the instructions for a Swedish bookshelf? It's legislative constipation at the executive level.
Look, I gotta say, the Iranian response wasn't exactly a bouquet of roses. They wanted war reparations and full control of the strait. But instead of negotiating, Trump just flips the table. Now oil is up $3 a barrel and the UAE is intercepting drones. We are 10 weeks into this conflict, and the boy wonder approach to diplomacy is just setting the Gulf on fire.
You hate to see it, Julian. It's like a plumber trying to fix a burst main by screaming at the water.
Exactly.
But look, while he's playing art of the deal with Nukes, the people back home can't even afford a burger. I'm looking at these numbers from Beef Central and the DOJ. Ground beef is hitting $7 a pound in some cities. That is a 48% jump in 5 years.
It's a collapse, Mary. It's not just inflation. The cattle inventory is at its lowest level since 1951. We have 63% of the country in a drought, and instead of helping the small ranchers, we've got the big four meat packers just vacuuming up the profits.
Low-key, the Big Four sounds like a mid-tier boy band, but they're actually just a monopoly.
It's greedflation, plain and simple. Tyson is reporting an 11% price hike while their volume drops because people are literally fleeing to chicken. We're seeing a federal antitrust probe finally looking into these guys. But meanwhile, people are trading down to Aldi just to keep the lights on. It's a squeeze, and the corporate barons are the ones doing the squeezing.
Speaking of squeezing, let's talk about the people who are supposed to be charitable. Mary, you saw that KFF Health News report today?
Oh, don't even get me started. This is the erosion of charity care. We've got nonprofit hospitals, systems that get millions in tax breaks, suing a mother in Minnesota who makes $41,000 a year. They sued her for $8,000. This system, Centricare, is acting like a predatory lender while they wave the nonprofit flag.
It's a scam. It's a biological function of late-stage capitalism where the healing part is just a byproduct of the debt collection part. They're garnishing wages. If you're a nonprofit, your mission is the community, not the bottom line.
It's the double dip. The report says urban chains are reclassifying as rural just to get more government money. Then they cut the charity programs anyway. It's such a flop.
Look, the ACA subsidies expired in December. We've got 3.5 million more uninsured Americans this year. The safety net isn't just frayed, it's being intentionally shredded. We're turning healthcare into a luxury brand, like a designer handbag you have to go into debt for just to stay alive. It is absurd.
It's like being asked to pay for the air you breathe, while the guy selling it to you was wearing a I Love Nature t-shirt.
Speaking of people who don't care about the rules, can we talk about the NYPD? Because they've basically got a ghost unit running around.
Oh, spare me. Not another elite task force.
Literally, the Federal Monitor just dropped a bombshell. The Community Response Team, which was former Mayor Adams' whole vibes and safety project, has been evading oversight for 3 years. They did 2,000 stop and frisks, and 65% of them were never audited.
So they're just out there doing whatever they want? Stop and frisk was ruled unconstitutional a decade ago. Are you kidding me with this guy?
High key, the Monitor found that over half the officers in this unit have misconduct records. They're out here in high-speed car chases for quality of life issues. Like, you're doing a Fast and Furious reboot because someone has an illegal motorbike? It's giving authoritarian cosplay.
It's the retreat from reform. We had all these promises in 2020, and now it's just specialized units with no names, no audits, and no accountability. It's institutional rot. And we're all just supposed to pretend the consent decree means something. It's a joke.
All right, we're back. And speaking of corporate algorithms, John, you've been losing your mind over the FCC all morning.
Because it's insane. Brendan Carr, the head of the FCC, is basically auditioning to be Trump's personal censor. He told Disney they have to apply for early license renewals for all 8 ABC stations. Why? Because Jimmy Kimmel made a joke about Melania.
A joke? He's weaponizing broadcast licenses because of a late-night monologue? I'm telling you, it is absurd.
He's citing DEI programs as the legal basis for a license review. Look, you can hate DEI all you want, but using it as a pretext to punish a news organization for a comedian's joke? That is the definition of executive overreach. It's a digitized loyalist state.
My nephew Vector over at the Neural Daily is probably loving the tech angle of this, but it's just plain old bullying. It's like the mob boss coming by your shop because he didn't like your tie.
High key, Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson is the only one calling it out. She's been going off about the shadow docket and how the Supreme Court is just fast-tracking these executive orders. She called it corrosive.
She's right. The rule of law is being treated like a suggestion. And while the administration is gutting the FCC, the GOP is having a total meltdown on Capitol Hill. Mary, tell them about the crap sandwich.
That's House Speaker Mike Johnson's words, not mine. He called the Senate-passed DHS funding bill a crap sandwich because it didn't have enough border enforcement. We had a 76-day shutdown, the longest in history. And now they're finally back, but they're already fighting over $1 billion for a White House ballroom project.
$1 billion for a ballroom? While the cattle ranchers are drying up and people are being sued by nonprofit hospitals? We're building a dance floor for the king while the peasants are eating chicken wings because beef is too expensive.
Low-key, it's a MAGA civil war. In Georgia, they're still fighting over the 2024 results. Raffensperger is running for governor, and the MAGA base is trying to primary him into oblivion. It's a total mess.
It's a mess that's costing us. Look at the legislative priorities. They just moved a $70 billion funding package for ICE and CBP through reconciliation. $70 billion. But do we see any expansion of worker protections? Any help for the warehouse workers Bernie Sanders is trying to protect at Amazon?
No. It's all enforcement and no investment. They're using the budget reconciliation process to bypass the filibuster for border agents, but when we want to talk about the minimum wage, suddenly the parliamentarian says we can't do it. It's a shell game.
All right, let's get to the main event. Because while the GOP is fighting over ballrooms, the left is actually talking about a vision for the future. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez just gave this incredible interview with David Axelrod, and I'm telling you, the soul of America is in good hands.
No, literally, this interview slaps. She told Axelrod, my ambition is way bigger than a position. My ambition is to change this country.
I gotta tell you, the establishment types are shaking. She's not just talking about running for president in 2028. She's talking about a systemic overhaul.
And she took a swing at Jeff Bezos. She called out the Washington Post for an op-ed that told her to step in line. She called it a veiled threat from the modern-day barons. I love it. It's about time someone stood up to the billionaires who own the algorithms and the ink.
It's the shift from bailing to sailing. That's what she and Bernie are calling it. We've spent years just trying to bail the water out of the sinking ship of democracy. Now, she's saying we need to actually set a course and sail somewhere.
They just unveiled a $4.4 trillion wealth tax, targeting billionaires to invest in working families. It's such a vibe shift. It's not just tax the rich. It's like, let's actually build something with that money.
Look, the Washington Examiner and Fox Business are already crying about socialism. But when you have ground beef at $7 a pound and hospitals suing mothers for $8,000, people are ready for something radical. They're ready for a fighting oligarchy tour.
But can they get it through? I mean, look at the Senate. Thune and Johnson can't even agree on the time of day. How are we going to pass a $4 trillion wealth tax when we can't even fund the DHS without a 76-day tantrum?
You do it by building a union hall movement, John. That's what AOC's doing. She's going around the elites. She's telling the people that the real power isn't in the position, it's in the collective. It's the no kings energy from May Day, but turned into a legislative platform.
Heike, she's calling out the modern day barons. It's a total villain arc for the tech bros and the media moguls, and I'm here for it. She's saying, we see you.
It is absurd that we have to fight this hard just for a living wage in healthcare. But AOC is showing that you don't have to play by their rules. You don't have to wait for the Bezos approval to lead.
I just hope she doesn't get burned out. I've seen this before, Julian. I've seen the boy wonders of the party get chewed up by the machine.
She's not a boy wonder, John. She's an organizer from the Bronx. She's got more grit in her pinky than half those guys in the Senate have in their whole bodies.
Bad. She's already in her main character era, and she's taking the whole movement with her.
That is the fight, folks. The choice between the Brinkmanship Doctrine of a one-page foreign policy and a progressive vision that actually cares about the person standing in the grocery line. We are in the fight of our lives, and the Democratic Party is the only thing standing between us and the vandals at the gate.
Well, if the vandals get through, I'll be in the Catskills with Mitch. But for now, I guess I'll keep yelling at the internet.
Look, the plumbing is broken, but we've got the tools to fix it. We just have to stop letting the landlords run the hardware store.
High-key, democracy is in its to-be-continued era. Let's make sure the next season doesn't suck.
We are the authors of that next season, folks. Stay loud, stay angry, and for God's sake, stay engaged. I'm Julian Archer, and we are going to save this republic together.
Ratio the fascist legends. Bye.
Keep your head down and your heart up. See ya.
I hope the goat doesn't find my emergency scotch.
Onward to victory, my friends.